Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Between kids and pets, do you ever feel like you're living in a zoo? Well, our next guest pretty much does. He and his wife are lovingly caring for more than 65 animals each day. Here to share more, we welcome the co-founder of the Onalaska Farm Sanctuary, Kyle York. Thank you so much for visiting us today.
Thank you.
Tell me about the beginning of this story. Y'all bought this property and moved out in 2020, is that right?
Yep, so we bought the property in 2019, and then we became a animal sanctuary and a not-for-profit in 2020. So we were looking for a piece of property to build and add to and we found this farm out in central Washington. So
what brought you to the Pacific Northwest?
So after I retired from the military, Jessica wanted to continue to do work with animals. She had been volunteering for years with different organizations around the world and local organizations, and she wanted to start something on her own that she could be part of. And so we were actually looking all over the United States, because being part of the military, I've lived all over the place and that. So Pacific Northwest, we really like the location, so that's where we chose.
It's so beautiful. Look at the stunning photos we have here of the property. So do you focus mainly on farm animals, and why do they need so much advocacy?
So we started off with farm animals. That was where we wanted to start it, because they have the smallest voice in that, and there's the least amount of protections for them. So we wanted to give a place for them to land safely and work with them. And so.
It's just you two doing the bulk of this, right? How do you keep it moving day to day? It must be, I mean, just tons of work, sun up to sundown.
Yeah, so Jessica and I are the only two volunteers. We do ask for volunteers to come visit. I do work full-time beyond that. Jessica full-time volunteers as the sanctuary, and then, so it's just every day. Every day is work, and that 7 days a week. 365 days of work.
For sure. What kinds of animals do you have? I know you have kind of a big range of critters that you care for.
Yeah, so we have cows and goats and sheep and chickens and pigeons and Patagonian maras.
Now, what are those?
So Patagonian maras are a large breed of rodent. Actually, some say the third or the fourth. There's a discussion about that.
Okay.
They're actually related to guinea pigs.
Okay.
They can weigh up to 35 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And they're really a very cool animal. They're from South America, Argentina. They're used mainly in this area in petting zoos.
Okay. So how did these animals come to you?
So unfortunately, when petting zoos are done with the animal, either they end up being aggressive or they're not cute anymore.
Right.
They end up on the market. So we came across our first one, and it was like something that looked like it needed help, and we wanted to rescue. And as we researched more, it's like, well, you can't just have one. They need to have friends. So we ended up getting a second one, and we ended up now with 3 of them.
Wow, and you have chinchillas as well?
Yep. So
those are very interesting animals.
Chinchillas. We've had sugar gliders. We've had all kinds of animals come through our doors. Just depending who needs help, and if we can help, we try.
Well, and for you, is the focus on just giving them a forever stable life, or do you do any adopting out of these animals?
So we do do some adoptions. There's some animals like the cows we will never adopt. We have forever residents. Some of the goats we've had brought in and moved them on to other rescues or families that want to have a family pet. Most of our adoptions run into, so there's Obi on the screen there.
Oh my goodness.
And he actually came from a petting zoo, believe it or not.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What a sweetheart, just part of the family.
He's part of the family.
Stopping by for a snack.
So a lot of adoptions now we're doing is in the cats.
Okay.
So we obviously started off as a farm rescue, but now we noticed there was a real need for cat rescue in our community. The part of the state that we live in, unfortunately, does not have a lot of access to spay and neuter clinics, and there's a real cat issue, population issue in that area. It's not just there, but it's everywhere, you see. So we wanted to reach out to our community beyond just farm animals, and we started low-cost spay spay and neuter clinics.
Oh, wow.
And also to allow people to have somewhere to bring their animals that can no longer take care of them.
Sure.
And so.
A lot of people find themselves in that situation. They
Yeah.
have these animals that they love and care for so many years, but life takes a left turn and you're not sure where to go next. And
Right.
you also have a mobile bus. Is that how you help your community as well?
Yeah, so we bought the green bus there, and that is because we actually transport up to 40 animals at a time to these clinics.
Wow.
So we work with different partners, mainly in the Seattle and Mason County areas, to get these low-cost spay-neuter clinics. So the people bring the cats to us. We'll transport them up, get them spay and neutered. Sometimes we'll help with paying. Sometimes just the cost is low enough that
Yeah.
they'll be able to pay on their own. And then we bring them back, and that way the families can have a lifelong animal that they don't have to worry about producing more.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes the transport for folks in rural communities, that can make all the difference, just
Yes.
getting the access to the resources. What do you hope to pass on to other people who love animals? Maybe they can't open their own farm or help physically in that way. What can we do in our day-to-day lives to better support the animals that you advocate for?
well, the big thing is to, if you can volunteer, there are plenty of rescues through this region and
Yeah.
our region that always needs help. A lot of the rescues are tiny. They're usually run by 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
And that, so any type of volunteer work you can do, if you can financially support, all of us have either Patreon or you can Venmo, PayPal, or just drop a check in the mail.
Yeah.
And that helps out tremendously. And the last thing is advocate for animals. And that contact your local council, and that make sure that animals are being treated right in your community.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much for visiting us. It was great chatting with you.
thank you.
We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.